Wednesday, everyone. I had to go out to the car just before this started, and the sky is so clear above me. Like the moon's really clear. It's just I felt like it's been really like muggy for a while now. So it's nice to
Yeah,
see that
doesn't it?
clear sky.
It feels like ages since the moon's actually been out. I spotted it last night and felt exactly the same. I was like, "Hello, moon."
We forget she exists sometimes, doesn't she? And then,
She's
but I
always
suppose it helps you really be thankful for her when she is there, and you can
there. Yeah.
take her all in.
Well, we're
Same
in the
thing,
waxing stage towards the full moon on Sunday, so
the waxing stage. Okay,
yeah, it's
that's
in
the
getting bigger.
okay. I'm still learning. I will get to know all these terms.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
pe-
it took me ages to recognise the difference between waxing and wanning.
I mean, I'm still struggling with like actual left and right. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'll get that.
I feel you.
Peter says, Lindsay and Steph, you are late again. Lol.
I don't think
Crazy.
Steph was. I think it was actually me. I think she was
No,
waiting for me. So
no, I was late. It wasn't. I had loads of time. That's always the way, right? You think you've got
yeah,
all this time, and then no, I don't.
yeah.
um, what's been happening in the last week? Has anything caught your eyes, guys? Has any good news happened? I know there's been a lot of crazy news because that's life at the minute. Steph, your hat looks
Yeah.
cozy. Thank you so much. This is from my dad at Christmas. It is a very cozy hat. It's covering my greasy hair right now. um,
That's a good plan.
right?
I'm wrapped up in my dressing gown because I don't know. I feel really cold today.
It's been cold for a little while now, and I'm over it.
I'm
Petition
over
to
this
end the
wet
cold.
weather. Yeah, exactly.
Kat says, "Yo, broski." I'm assuming that's to her actual brother. Dane's in the chat as well. We've got Anna. We've got Peter. Everyone's here. Everyone's piling in. Anna says, "Sorry, guys,
Yay.
won't be able to stay as it's Dan's birthday today, but just wanted to hop on as long as I can." Oh, bless you. No, of course not.
Oh,
You've got everyone's birthday in this month, right? Or in
wish
these few weeks.
wish Dan a happy birthday from us.
Happy birthday, Dan. We won't sing for you just because nobody wants that.
We don't want to put people off straight away before we've even started.
No, definitely. Actually, can I do a quick audio check? There doesn't seem to be any complaints, but like, do we sound okay?
Hello, 1 2 1 2.
I realise
You
I've got to
sound
wait.
okay to me.
Yeah, you sound good to me too. You sound good to me too. Weirdest flirting ever. Um, yeah. How's your week been so far?
Yeah, not bad. Not too bad. I've missed. I've not done my meditations this week, so I'm feeling a little bit guilty about that, but trying not to give myself a hard time when it's only my own expectation that I've set. So
Yeah, definitely. It's weird how our brain does that to us, isn't it? Like, how dare you fall out of the schedule we set together?
yeah, exactly.
But
How's your week been?
yeah, it's not been too bad. Oh well, ups and downs. I actually had a crazy. What day was it now?
It's when
Monday.
yeah.
This happened. Yeah, this happened on. I think it was Monday. Um, Early in the morning, I had to go to the hospital. And opposite, near where I live, there's a primary school, and people always park on the double yellows when they're dropping the kids off. It's just a thing. Like, so I'm ready for it every time it happens. I account for it in my journey.
Yeah.
But this one time, not only is there a cars parked all on the double yellows, a guy's work van is just in the road next to one of the parked cars, just taking up the whole entire lane. So there's traffic all around me because it's school time. I can't
Yeah.
reverse to make a different. Like, I've just got to sit and wait. Anyway, this geezer in his plastered covered overalls, looking scrawny as hell. Not scrawny, just gross and covered in crap. Anyway, he like just saunters back to his van like it's nothing, gets in his van and starts reversing, and he's getting closer and closer. And I was like, I got to the point where I was like, and he got out of his van, looked behind me, and was like, "I'm going to f you up, you b."
What?
And I went, because I'm surrounded by people, and someone just went,
Yeah, yeah.
"What do you do with the money? Actually, go on then, beat me up in
Yeah,
front
yeah.
of all these people." And then as I went to get out of the car, I realized how jellified my legs felt. Like I was feeling
Yeah,
brave.
the
My body
adrenaline.
was like, "No, girl, drive off." So I went to drive off, and then he started chasing me.
The
And I was
fuck's
like,
even
"What the
wrong
hell?"
with people?
In a signed van as well. So I went to the hospital, did all that, came back, rang the company, and the
Yeah.
guy that answered the phone initially was like, who?" And I was like, "I don't know, describe the guy, like, what's gonna be done about it?" And then he just passed it over to someone else. Another guy took the phone. He was like, "Look, this is an office that's shared between 2 companies. The guy that runs the company isn't in right now, but I'll take the information because that's bang out of order. People shouldn't be doing that. He's doing traffic offences,
Yeah.
ASBO, shit like that." And but it was proper like, "Thanks for coming to me as well," because a lot of people, they would go to the reviews and they'd like mess up the business, and then it ruins everyone else's career. And I was like, "No, no, I appreciate that." And I was like, "I work with people with behavioural problems. Like, I'd rather give someone the
Yeah.
chance. Like, if anything, it'd be nice to sit down with them and be like, 'What was that about? Like, I can
Yeah,
handle my
what's
own.'"
your problem? Yeah.
And the guy went, yeah, that sounds like quite a good idea, actually. I'll give you a call back as soon as I've spoke to him." I couldn't leave it. I've got my detective thing on. I've seen his
Yeah.
face. I know the company. I'm just going to look through their social media. Who is this guy? Turns out it's the owner of the company, Mr. Aaron Starbuck of Thurmaston, Leicester, who already has a history of messing with just people in general. We've got a huge
Yeah,
anger
yeah.
problem because he used to work in the Audi dealership, and he avoided jail time narrowly because, well, I don't know how he managed to narrowly avoid it, but he got it from smashing his boss's printer, like 2 grand's worth of printer, and then running his boss over with his own car, like the Audi car.
Yeah.
The guy's like, "You can't drive off in that. You've been fired. That ain't your car." And he's ran
Yeah,
him
yeah.
over and drove off with it. Aaron Starbuck.
Guy's a psychopath.
So I'm like, I don't even want to take this further now. Do you know what I mean? But a part of me is
Yeah.
like, do you know what? Your van's everywhere. Your social media is posted with his wife, his like million kids that are just like in Dubai on holiday, living the good life. And it's like, you're fake. You're fake,
Yeah.
dude.
Big time.
And karma is gonna get you.
Well, I would report it to the police so that it's on record, and then I would put a review on their thing, the exact thing that he said, "I appreciate you not doing." I'd do it.
Is it worth going to the police for?
Well, I mean, I would report it because at the end of the day, then if something else happens or they have another report, they've already got a record. They
Yeah.
perhaps won't do anything about it because there's no witnesses and they won't follow it up. But it's worthwhile, like, putting it on record. You don't know, like, the
Yeah.
ripple effect in terms of he might do something else, and then that report that you've done actually helps the next person, if you see what I mean.
No, definitely. Yeah, no, you're totally right. I shouldn't be thinking in terms of like whether his ass is handed to him right now in this instance. It could be part of a bigger picture. If it's not
Yeah.
something that the man's clearly not learnt his lesson from avoiding jail. So,
The man's clearly
um,
not right in the head, you know? Like, so what's his company do?
yeah, I'll tell you exactly who they are. They are a roofing company, AJCS Roofing, based in
Right, avoid them. Avoid. Don't give that weirdo any business.
you know. I'm just trying to see
Yeah.
what the
The chat's agreeing that, report it. At the end of the day, it was outside
okay.
of school as well, so there would have been that means his kid goes to that school, which chances are he's done it before or will do it again. I'd report it to the school and all.
A part of me thinks because he came. I don't know if I'm making this bit up, but I swear he had a prescription bag, and that's why he'd parked there and like he was waiting at the.
Oh, okay.
There's like a doctor's, my doctor's and pharmacy right next to it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like we never know what's going on in other people's lives, and we like to give them the benefit of the doubt. In terms of like, you know, that car's driving super slow, it's because they've got a precious cargo in on the back seat, you know, rather than us losing our temper at people.
There he is. He's a really
Yeah.
attractive guy.
Oh, I can see why he's got anger issues now. He was bullied
No,
as a kid.
I want the story. Oh, it's the mirror, innit? Yeah,
Mm.
whatever, I accept for once. Smashes
And that's
printer and then runs down boss in company car. Your
God, what a
magic you
guy.
are, dude. So
What
yeah,
a guy.
you can go on my little podcast. Joke's on me, because to turn that camera around, I actually exposed the grossest doom room that's going on behind the camera.
I've got exactly the same going on around me. Do not worry. Just sheer chaos. It is what it is.
And at least I'm not this guy.
Yeah, exactly. It could be worse. You could be threatening people, you know.
Exactly.
Idiot. Obviously
Just
thinks the
seen
world owes him something.
Peter said, "We need to look after Steph. We can't have anything happening to one of our favourite girls." That's so cute. I feel like I've got a
That
team
is
behind
cute.
me.
You have
Give
got
me,
a team.
give me
Not just a
strength,
physical
guys.
one, Steph. You have a spirit team as well.
Oh my word! And can I just say,
How
it's
smooth was
never,
that?
it's never until, well, it's not until this last 30 minutes that it's meant so much to me, because a part of me is like, could someone that literally died today be mine? Because that would be the most perfect thing ever. But I want to discuss like the emotions and stuff that come up for me as we go through it, because there's some of it I'll think it and I'm like, is that really selfish to think someone that passed away in another country that never spoke to me could be my spirit guide? And then is there a danger of some practitioners maybe fooling people, maybe the bad faith people that could latch on to stuff like that? But before we get into like the deep blah blah blah, let's kick it off. I first want to say, let's dedicate this episode to Miss Shirley.
Yeah.
We've spoke about her
Okay.
before. She's from Beauty to the Streets. Lindzi sent me a message literally, what, half an hour, not even
20
that,
minutes ago.
20
Yeah.
minutes ago, saying that she passed away. And I was watching her yesterday. She's a huge part of the culture in feeding the homeless and supporting the homeless in America. She's had worldwide like influence. And yeah, the world lost an actual angel today, or heaven gained an angel. Or possibly, hopefully, I gained a spirit guide, because it seems a little
That
less silly to me now and a little more like,
Yeah, that actually crossed my mind, weirdly enough, like the timing of this episode. And when I saw that, I was like, how strange that, you know, this is what we're going to be talking about. And I know that she was very inspirational to you too, in terms of some of the ideas you've had in ways to progress our platform. And, you know, so
yeah,
that you just think, you can't imagine the ripple effect that she has actually had in terms of changing people's lives.
ain't it? It's really sad. It's just without how much crap there is in the world, I kind of looked to people like that and I was like, at least that's happening. Do you know what I mean? There's these
Yeah.
little pockets of good that aren't completely forcing me to apathy. And yeah, in a selfish way, I'm gutted that I've lost that now.
But you've not, because I mean, I was having this conversation today with the students that our physical bodies can reduce, but our energy cannot. Like, energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transferred. So when you think of us as souls and having an energetic core, whenever we pass on from this earthly plane, our energy cannot disappear. It can only transfer and become something different. So, you know, there's a lot of comfort to be taken from that when you lose somebody, and you kind of think like, how can that vibe and that spirit be no more? But it's like, well, it isn't no more. It's just not in a way that we recognize it,
Right, yeah.
or that we
No,
have
definitely.
recognized it.
Oh, that's a really nice, interesting way of putting it. It's comforting,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Definitely should be part of the grief process, I think, like actually understanding the anatomy. But scientifically, right, that is true, isn't it? That energy can't be gotten rid of. So that is like the science aspect of it.
Yeah, literally, you cannot get out more than you put in, and vice versa.
Yeah. So, but then obviously the question mark hangs over to, well, what happens to that energy? You know, how does it still exist in terms of like what form, and how can we understand that as humans with limited capacity of the wider universe?
No, definitely. I mean, I feel like my understanding it is a very on the physical realm where like my body, whether it is cremated or put in the soil, will become nutrients for the earth. It will forever remain
Yeah,
on this
in one
earth.
way.
Yeah. I know a lot of people say like, "Oh, I'd rather be buried," because the idea that I'm feeding the trees and stuff. But I don't think enough people realize that if you're cremated, you become carbon, which is the life force and the food for so much stuff that's natural.
Yeah.
So yeah, either way, if that's what your goals are.
Yeah.
Goals are.
You're going on.
Goals.
I love that. Just returning to the chat, Russia's made a really funny point. Shout out, mate.
Oh, hey,
just
Joe.
put,
Hey, Rush.
imagine having a business, hurling abuse at the public, and thinking your business is going to thrive. And it is so true, isn't it? It's just ridiculous.
It makes me mad. I was like, how does this angry troll get to have like all these Dubai holidays and his own business that's successful and all this? And then I realized, just because I'm seeing that on his social media, remind yourself, Steph, don't mean anything. That man could be up to his eyeballs in debt. He could not be able to sleep. His missus could be with someone else. Them kids might not all be his. Do you know what I mean? There's so many things that, like,
and judging
I'd
by
rather
his
just
behaviour,
sit
that's
back and be
probably
like,
all true.
yeah, thank God I'm not Aaron Starbuck. Jesus Christ. Ugh. But I'd like to know if that was the first person I spoke to on the phone that was like,
I don't know. It's interesting, isn't it?
You'd be
feel like turning up at his office.
Can you imagine?
With that mic, like, how do you feel?
And I live stream, just like, this ain't recording. This is live. It's going on now. You want to beat me up? Go for it.
I love that. Someone said, telling me to stop making excuses for the dead weight. That's my trouble. I always find a justification for other people's behaviour. Hence why I put up with certain toxicity for way too long, because I'm like, oh, but they're behaving like that because they've got so much on their plate, or you can always see like the deeper cause.
I mean, just look at the Bible, right? It was probably Jesus' first trait that trusted everyone, because it got him into a lot of bloody trouble if he'd have just. But no, that isn't the lesson. To trust everyone, be nice to everyone, be like Jesus. We love Jesus' teachings. Oh, Lindzi, this might be for you. Gas bottle propane sale, 47 kilograms, 80 pounds. Is that a good deal?
I don't know. Without going downstairs to look at my gas bottle, I don't even know what size mine is.
Reflection, send me an email. A different podcast. What is it, guys?
A different podcast official@gmail.com.
It does have official in, doesn't it? An email.
We've got people saying that the sound is going funny, but that it's stuttering and that it's jumping. I don't really know what I can do about that, because.
Okay. Bear with me. Let me get an idea of what it sounded like.
It's stuttering and then it's jumping. I don't really know what I can do about that. Yeah. Is that me?
Anyway, let me get an idea of what it sounded like.
Stuttering and then it's jumping.
Sounds
like it's on my end, but I don't know what I can do. It'll be my internet reception, won't it?
I don't know what I can do about that. I can't work it out. It seemed to be fine at the start, right?
I've not done my meditations this week, so
maybe it's just a bit of a both of you. Okay, it is both of us. My internet's fully connected. What's happening?
Well, we can only continue, and if it messes up, then it's probably the spirit guides.
Who called me dodgy specs?
Deirdre.
I'm not
Oh,
sending you an email, dodgy specs.
someone called them Deirdres earlier, but it's in like a compliment.
Dodgy
Oh,
specs makes me laugh.
Russia's
Living with-
commented about since her dad passed away, I've still felt his energy around me, and it feels like he's still guiding me. Well, that is absolutely what I believe.
That's really wonderful, right? I feel like that's all you could ever really want for
The healing process.
after that time. Yeah, like we all pray, right, that there's got to be some way that it's not fully the end. I mean, is that my attachment style? That's probably me and my lens of but that finite moment, like what? But knowing that you can feel their energy and that gives you comfort. I'm sure that in turn gives your dad a good feeling, right? That they can be there for you, probably in ways that they couldn't when they were on this planet.
Definitely, because when you're on this planet, you are locked into this lower frequency. So you've got this emotions, whereas people report that when you pass on, people that have had near-death experiences, that it's just love and light, basically, and so pure. So people that were unable to express their emotions or were kind of traumatized or experiencing things like jealousy and resentment and anger and those things, they aren't experiencing that anymore, so they are in a completely different position to be able to guide you. But this definitely comes down to that initial thing of, do you believe, doesn't it? Because how can you, and also trust in your own feelings, your own intuition and your own instinct, which is something that I really think is important to work on, because if you don't trust your intuition and you're there like, I just want to know that they're okay, then you're perhaps not going to then receive that information, or you're going to second guess it.
No, definitely. I can understand that. It makes a lot of sense. Peter saying, when my mate passed away, I still felt their weight on me, but this might be because I had to carry their coffin. That's so nice of you that you got to have that moment.
I was like, is that a joke, or is that like partly true?
We deal with things with humour, don't we?
Yeah, totally. And it's definitely developing my belief in the spirit world. Definitely helped me heal from loss and overcome losses since in a different way, because I've got this faith.
No, definitely.
So shall I start by just explaining just briefly what kind of what a spirit guide is and all of that, and then we can talk about like the scientific weight behind it and if there is any.
Yes, please.
So there is a belief then that every single person on this earth has got a spirit team, a team of beings that are in a different realm that are guiding you from that realm. There will be people on that team that you have never met in this physical plane, but that have been there from birth, and also people that have joined that team. So say if you've had like a grandma or a friend or somebody pass away during your lifetime, there is every possibility that they could also join that team. It is usually commonly believed that those teams can interact. So our teams could be, hanging out together, comparing notes, or even that you might share a team member. And then there's the belief that we have angels, which is a really similar concept. So some people really subscribe to having an angel that's overlooking them. Some people will think it's a combination of angels, ancestors, and maybe even alien forms as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be an earth soul. It could be a being.
Right, okay. Is it the guardian angel when people reference that? Is that what they mean? Okay.
Yeah, so and then there is this belief as well that those angels, that you can kind of connect with those angels. You can call in specific angels for specific jobs, and that they, are kind of working amongst a multitude of people. They're not just connected to one person. And sorry, I just got distracted by a really good question in the chat, which is, do you think we have spirits working against us too? And I don't know what I think about that, but I know that there is a common belief that yes, that there is also spirits that are designed to practically take on the role of the demon aspect, where they are designed to distract you and to mimic somebody that is good for you and try to knock you off your path. So a lot of people do believe it's hard to kind of accept that there's light without accepting there's dark, because everything has that duality. So I think probably if I believe in the fact that there's good, then potentially I've got to accept that there's bad too. So in terms of me personally getting in touch with my spirit team, as it were, I lost a baby sister about 15 years ago or so. So that was a real shock. Like, she passed away while she was still a baby. And initially I just went completely off the rails, you know, had a lot of survivor's guilt, which is where you can't accept that it was them and not you. Because obviously I was the eldest sibling, so it's like, why not take me? I've had like so many years of my life. But then all of us in the family started to receive signs of the strange activity, movements, things. Especially, she loves communicating through electronics, so through the iPad, through games that made noises and had lights and things like that. And for me, it was feathers. Started finding feathers everywhere. And then the more I kind of believed in it, connected with it, looked into it, the stronger those signs got. So this is where I know that the scientific explanation can very much kind of, you know, what you see is what you look for is what you're going to find. But then on the other hand, there's been some kind of such strange occurrences, the timing and things like that, that you think, but you know, surely there comes a point where you've got to stop like using coincidence as a rule of thumb and start to think maybe there is something more. Because that's what I was going to ask you actually, is like, what is the scientific measure, do you think, when it comes to do spirits exist? Because there's so much evidence out there that they do, but the evidence is mainly personal experience. So where does that sit in terms of being able to kind of prove something?
Yeah, there's a load of, the one approach that really sticks to mind for me is that eyewitness testimonies are one of the worst types of evidence for any kind of research. And that just happens to suck, because it seems to tie in with people being like, it doesn't work unless you fully believe it. So it's almost like,
how can you believe it though?
Yeah. And then how do you work that out? But in terms of actually, I haven't actually looked at the scientific investigation of like the paranormal, the afterlives, all these kind of things. Which probably would have been really good preparation for this episode.
Well, there is, like, you know, they scientifically measure changes in electromagnetic, I don't know, impulses, whatever they are. But you know, there are ways.
Field.
Yeah. So they can measure those using certain equipment. But again, there's
what are we
also
reading?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, there could be natural pools of energy that are in that area just through the earth. It doesn't necessarily mean it's and the other thing is that where people experience phenomena over and over, so say like Bradgate Park, so where we're from in the Midlands, there's this park called Bradgate Park. Apparently Lady Jane Grey, who was queen for 9 days, is renowned for haunting that area. So if there's a place where there's been lots of phenomena recorded, they'll go there, they measure these things, and things like electromagnetic field readings tend to be much higher in those areas. But is that why people experience things like changes in temperature and actual feelings? Because if there is those changes in energy, we could just be being sensitive and manipulated by those changes. It's like,
it's strange, right? No. Yeah, it's because people be like, "Oh, that doesn't sound realistic," but how many of us can hear electricity when you've plugs plugged in next to us? Like, but that same
Yes.
noise cannot be detected by so many other people. So it's like,
Yeah.
how am I picking up on certain stuff that you're not? And how do I know what I'm processing is correct? And that's where I think my ultimate approach, my perspective on it lies. And it's kind of in the same realms of placebo.
Yeah.
If it works for you, if it comforts you, if it helps you feel motivated, if it helps you
Mm.
get through grief, if it helps you in any way, shape, or form without it,
Harming
without you
anybody.
realizing harming yourself or anyone else,
Yeah.
I don't care if it's real or not.
Yeah.
It's not my place to judge, to try and take that away from someone, the same as religion, the same as any kind of belief. Um, yeah, I feel like science, I mean, saying science should do more to try and look into this. Maybe they haven't. I just haven't looked into
Well,
it.
no, I think that in a lot of sense, science doesn't look into it because scientists that have wanted to pursue it in the past have been laughed at or shamed by their academics. It's not classed as a very academic subject, and there are parapsychologists, that go on to study this, and again, the evidence seems to genuinely just come down to did more than one people experience that thing at the same time. That is something that can then weight into that body of evidence. But also you've got to think there's nothing to gain for the wider world, the capitalist world, the religious world, to prove that these things exist, because actually they profit and they rely on us not believing in these things, if you see what I mean. So there's that
Yeah,
aspect too.
I understand that, but there is a way of definitely capitalizing that. Like these ghost
Yeah,
detectors things are
yeah,
expensive, and
yeah.
some of them are just like they'll pick up electricity, like what electricians will use.
Oh,
When
yeah,
they're
yeah.
manufactured for electricians, that you can get a pen, it's about 7 quid. These like meter things with like the you're looking at like 70 quid plus.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
can see how people are marketing these, like, and that's just the start. When you see these people that have these boxes that they like translate the current
Yeah,
into words and they'll say
messages.
certain, it looks fantastic. It's great. That box is about 500 quid. And
But
it's
you've got
like,
to think the funeral industry would collapse if people understood that life goes on. No one would be spending like 10 grand on a funeral because they feel so guilty that they've got to show everyone that, how much they cared through the best coffin and the best service. And, they do capitalize on our fear a hell of
oh
a lot.
yeah. I mean, the amount the funeral industry has in this country is a separate bloody episode, and it's
Yeah,
infuriating. I can't believe the amount that it costs someone to die.
it's crazy, isn't it? So I just chuck me overboard, I'll be
Capitalism
fine.
costs to
Yeah, has a
die.
lot to answer for. But so coming back to this idea of if we do have spirit guides, because there'll be people watching that are kind of hoping to gain something that they can then take away and put into practice from it.
Yeah,
So the
including me.
belief kind of is, I love it. You'll be going away from this like, is that this world operates on a dense frequency. Everything is solid and heavy and dense, and that the spirit world is a higher frequency world. So when you want to contact spirit, the idea is that you increase your frequency, you raise your frequency, whether that's through meditation, through music, through chanting, lots of ways that you can kind of up your energy. And on the other side of things, the spirit world's having to work really hard to actually reduce their frequency so that they can kind of meet you in the middle. So
Right, okay.
when speaking to other mediums and things, they will tell you some spirit are better at communicating than others. Some spirit help other spirit come through or pass on the messages, because not all, just like in this world where we're not all made the same, it's the same in the spirit
Yeah.
world. Not all are as advanced at communication. And then obviously when people say, oh, if I saw a ghost, I'd believe it. Well, that phenomenon is quite rare because it takes a lot of energy to move something, to make a sound, to create an orb, but then to obviously come through as a full physical apparition is even harder. And I'm just speaking from the different podcasts I've listened to, different people I've spoken to. I'm not speaking like as if I know this all for a fact, because I'm still
This is
learning
your
as well.
understanding of how it best happens, your best understanding for it.
Yeah, and it's just like trying to knowledge share for other people really that are curious. So if you're like looking to connect with your spirit guides, then you've kind of got to be open to any signs that they're going to send you. So things like number sequences, as people talk about angel numbers, and seeing like repeated numbers, the same number or number patterns, that can be kind of one of the first ways that you start to notice, like, oh, hold on a minute, that's getting a bit coincidental now. It's constant. Like I've seen that number pattern repeated either at the same time of day or whatever. And then things like so certain songs can come on just as you're thinking about something, and then a certain song will come on. Anything that you'd usually put down to a coincidence, basically, could actually be contact. Another one that we've spoken about before is when the radio's on, or adverts, or the TV, and you're writing something, and then the TV literally says it as you're writing it, or they can just be little subtle ways that you're kind of attuning, aligning to that idea. So it is a lot of kind of like down to having faith that these things exist. Just going back to like my sister and the feathers thing, there was a time when I was putting off a very tough decision, and I could really, at this point, I was like developed myself quite spiritually, so I was like, fully believed it. And I knew that she was kind of saying to me, you've got to stick with the decision this time, like don't break away from it. And I had a nap, because how emotionally exhausting it can be when you're going through something. And when I woke up, a song was playing on my phone, and the song filled the whole screen, and it was called Sis, the song was, so it said Sis. So I was woken up to Sis being in the middle of the screen. And it was just like, like that immediate feeling of that's her, like egging me on, enthusiastic, like encouraging me. So I got up, went downstairs, made a cup of tea, thought I need some fresh air, opened the back door, and there on the doorstep was this large, pure white feather just in the middle of like the step right there. But where I lived at the time was a town, so it's not like we have all these doves flying around or anything, especially not just pure white feathers. So the minute I saw that, because even as someone with faith, you do double question it, like, oh, send me a sign, was that really you? But it's like she was so adamant that she needed me to believe she was there. And I think that was the point that I fully just surrendered to the belief, where I was like, do you know what? This is like ridiculous. It's so clear. She's sending me this sign. She is here. Whenever I need her, she is there. And that's what I was going to share with people, is that if you begin talking to your non-existent or like invisible spirit team, you will start to make contact. And there's little things you can do, like sitting quietly with yourself, starting to meditate, just noticing like those signs if they come up, like ask a specific question and see if during that day or a few days later somebody comes up and has a conversation with you and just randomly seems to answer the question. It's kind of those serendipitous things that are going to start to connect you with it. So on my team, as it was, so actually I brought my pendulum along so that I could show people, because this is a very stubborn pendulum. It's it will not be asked twice anything. It'll give me an answer once, and then it will not answer it again. It will just stay dead. And even sometimes I'll ask it a question and it gives me the smallest of movements, but the movement is there. And then if I ask it to repeat it, it just won't. But it's shungite, and shungite is a really dense rock. It's not a kind of common stone to use as a pendulum, but it definitely chose me. This was at community festival when we were there, Steph, and there was that lovely crystal shop.
Very cool.
A pendulum can give you yes and no answers. And when I was first doing my spirit guide work, I was like asking it. I was like, can I ask you about who's on my spirit team? And it spun for yes. So then I was like, is my great granddad Jackson on my spirit team? And it spun for yes. Is great grandma Jackson on my spirit team? It spun for no. So it was like I was using this, and I think that having something physical can actually help the human brain, because we are very programmed to believe it when we see it. Even though our eyes and our brain can make stuff up, we're very programmed to, once we see it, once it's physical, it's much easier to believe it. So it can be a good place to start is a pendulum or a tarot deck, and you just shuffle it and you say, give me some advice for my greatest good, or ask it a specific question and start to pull it. So all of the practices that we'll kind of be covering in this series will connect you to your spirit guides. So I asked my spirit team to show me a pink duck. Did I share this story last week about the flamingos that were everywhere?
I remember you saying it, but I think it might have been at the craft series rather than online.
Okay. So just to recap for the listeners, I asked my spirit team to show me a pink duck. I thought, you see rubber ducks places, but I want to see a pink duck. And it seemed like something that I believed it. I really thought I was going to see it. And then all of a sudden, I'm not seeing rubber ducks anywhere, or I'm seeing rubber ducks of every colour, but not pink ones. And then it got to about, 6 months later. And I'm like, God, I am seeing flamingos everywhere. Like, literally, what is this? What is it about the flamingos? And then it suddenly dawned on me that they are essentially this pink duck. And spirit have got a wicked sense of humor. One of the most common messages that comes through is stop taking life so seriously. You're meant to be having a good time. All of these things around that you're meant to just loosen up a little bit. So they will have a laugh with you, and they will trick you, and you will find yourself giggling like, all right, nice one, yeah, okay, cheers then. So you can have a really good laugh with them, which is lovely.
Yeah, to be fair, if you'd gone through the process of dying and going to the afterlife, I suppose that's the message you'd want to pass on to people, right? Like,
yeah.
I shouldn't have taken that so seriously, man. Like, don't do the same.
There's a question about, doesn't a pendulum swing from dark to light? I don't know whether that's like a philosophical question, but if I just hold this up now, it should swing one way or the other. If we give it a minute, it should like pick up some momentum and start to spin one way or the other. So the idea is you have to hold it as steady as you possibly can. So I'll stop talking for a sec. Can you see it started to pick up momentum?
Yeah, it's definitely.
So it's spinning anti-clockwise. Can you ask your pendulum if I'm going to have a successful year? I can't remember which is yes and which is no. So let me just work that out first.
So a really good question, I think, seems to me this invisible spirit team borders on schizophrenia, all this talking to yourself. It's a funny comment, but it's actually not a bad comment to be making.
Yeah.
How do we distinguish between schizophrenia, psychosis, and spiritual connection?
Yeah, I mean, it is a really fascinating one, because even with ADHD and autism, we tend to have these busy minds and what we perceive as these extra voices talking to us. I think the simplest answer is that your spirit team is never going to put you in danger or ask you to do anything. They're never going to be giving you instructions like, go and do this.
Yeah, no, 100%. A big marker is impact, right? A spiritual experiences are meant to be comforting, grounding, chosen or welcomed, not overwhelming or terrifying. These are supposed to be, like you said, you're not going to have any that are like, tomorrow you will commit several murders and
yeah. But this may feed into that idea that if you are spiritually receptive, that are you more likely to end up with like something attaching itself that hasn't got your best intentions? Is that what schizophrenia is? Is it the mind is being corrupted by some dark forces. I mean, back in the ancient times, that's probably how it was understood before we started to understand brains, and that they can go wrong.
Yeah, I worry with that kind of thought because then we go backwards rather than the progression that we've made.
But I think if you are concerned, if you're concerned at all about your mind, then definitely seek medical attention and expert advice. But in terms of to make it a short, simple answer, your spirit team are not going to scare you. And 99% of spirits that are making contact do not want to scare you. In the past, if I've had something like lights flickering and things, I've actually said, you're scaring me now. They will stop because they're not trying to scare you. They're so excited that you're paying attention. They're just trying to make contact, to comfort you, to guide you in your life, to help you make good decisions. So there's definitely like a clear differentiation there.
No, definitely. How is this impacting all right, you've got this spiritual connection. How is your day-to-day life actually impacted? Are you sleeping still? Are you eating properly? Are you staying at work? Are you still studying? Are you maintaining relationships properly? You're not putting this spiritual connection before absolutely everything.
You've got to kind of keep a rational mind as well, and people around you can help to monitor that you're not completely losing, because there is something called spiritual psychosis, that you can lose yourself to all of these thoughts. And I think in the past I've certainly worried my mum with the depths that I've like traveled to and the concepts that I'm sharing, but you can weigh that up with, am I going to work? Am I going to bed at a reasonable time? Am I looking after myself? If there aren't other signs of mental decline, then chances are it's just a spiritual awakening. But it's a real fine line. We should definitely kind of cover spiritual awakening or breakdown as like a theme in future, because it is such a fine line.
It's an interesting topic because I mean, my parents have definitely thrown it my way. And I'm a little more grounded in the whole thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's perspective, isn't it? Don't worry. We've all worried our parents at one time or another.
And you kind of measure your experience by past experiences. So because I am open to my spirit guides making contact, if something happened now, I'd just be like, oh, it's just Winnie, or it's just Scott, or I'd tune into that and I'd be fine with it. Whereas if somebody's experience is that they've had someone in the family that's had a mental breakdown, they're going to be like, oh my God, these are the first signs I'm going mad. So, or me saying the TV's talking to me, it's again, it can be an indicator. That is funny. Someone's put, Blondie, you definitely don't need any liquid acid. How do you know I'm not on liquid acid? I'm not. The ironic thing is I'm a sober chick as well. So, mad as a box of frogs, but I put that down to my Irish pikey upbringing. Oh, we love this. Mad as a box of frogs is the best saying and the best way to be.
It's saying another modifier has handled this. Who's another modifier? Raise your hands in the chat if you're a mod. I feel like I should know this information. Who's modding this chat?
Did we make Cat a moderator ones?
I mean, I definitely had the idea. I don't remember physically setting it.
I don't know. Maybe it's one of our spirit teams messing with us, because I did say that Winnie likes to mess with the iPads and the electronics and stuff.
Wait, I love that, Winnie. If you want to moderate this channel, I'm all here for it, girl. Please.
Which funny enough, even as a kid, if I was around computers, so computers came out when I was about like 13, 14, we got, as in like we could afford a desktop. We all had to chip in, and it was about like £1,000 for a desktop. And I was 14-ish at the time. So the idea was, well, Lindzi needs it for her schoolwork and, this big, huge thing. But if I was
20 minutes to load a picture.
Yeah, exactly. If I was near computers, photocopiers, anything like that, they used to break down. And even now, it took me a long time to realise, didn't I? But that when you and I try and do a podcast and there's always technical issues, I was suddenly like, oh yeah, that's me.
To be fair, it doesn't help because I'm also the same. And I don't know if Sedge ended up teaching me that it was my paradigm, but like when I get the thing, it's always broken, or I get the one that's like doesn't work properly. It's always happened. I get like Christmas presents. Do you remember that thing that you'd like braid your hair in like 3 pieces and it'd twirl round? And my friends had one. I knew I could see them work outside of an advert. Every time it'd be like,
it just wouldn't work.
In my head,
and like you say, that there's an element of a paradigm there, as in the bad luck always happens to me. But then I feel like that's the ADHD experience as well, that we are constantly battling everything, and they're all the invisible things that pile up, and you have a breakdown over the one thing that person can see, and they're like, oh, what are you reacting like that for? But it's like, you don't realize there's like 99 other things that have tested me and pushed me to the limit.
Right, you've just seen the last straw break.
Yeah. What's Reflection 2026? What's mods? I would have thought 2 anti-capitalist warriors wouldn't have mods. Oh, moderators. Okay. Yeah. It's cool. I was just intrigued because I love that we were called anti-capitalist warriors.
We'd have mods, but we'd just have to give them a share of the profits, because that's what socialism is, which is why we don't have mods, or at least we shouldn't.
we don't make profits, which is why we hate capitalism. No, really.
It is the reason.
Just let me wrap up this spirit stuff, because we're coming to the end of the conversation. But a little like a bit of homework, as it were, between now and next week. Everyone keep your eyes open, your ears open, see if you can get yourself some kind of sign. Ask for it. Ask your team to give you a sign that you will recognize as them, because they are there to help you, and they do want to help, but they have to wait for you to ask. So when it came to the bus and I was like, please help me with this bus journey, like I reflect on my diaries, and at one point it's like I was asking them to help me to get this job done, and this job that seemed to take forever all of a sudden went really smoothly. Now that again might be this placebo effect, but who bloody cares, if it's going to make life easier.
No, definitely. I actually think we should set 2 homeworks, because I feel like we could test the collective unconscious here as well, by having one that we look for jointly, but then you have your own that you can look for. So I think, like your pink duck, let's go for a red lizard.
Okay, a red lizard. That'll be interesting. Yeah, let's see if and how a red lizard appears in our lives in the next week. So did you hear that, team? I've called you all in so that you're all present to listen. But just to make people giggle about how crazy I actually am, on my spirit team then, I know my great granddad's there, because I used my pendulum to ask, and I know Win is there. I had a young student pass away far too soon last year, and I asked a medium to see if they could contact him. And the medium, who didn't know the conversations that me and this lad had, came straight back saying, he says he is older than you, which meant something to me in terms of the conversations we used to have. He says he is older than you, and he's now your guide. You've been guiding him for all of this time. He's now your guide. And I can very much feel him around me, the same as Rush mentioned about the energy, feeling that energy. I can very much feel him around me. And one of the kind of so I get like just clairsentience, is that empath though, or clair, where I just know things. So it's not that I see it, I don't hear it, I just kind of get this information just appears in my brain, and it's like there's no obvious source for it. And so I was putting on some makeup, and that was it. I put on a ring that was a crystal, and then I put on some makeup, and the knowledge that I was given was that when you wear natural things like rock, crystal, stuff like that, it's easier for the spirit world to program itself into those and use the vibrations and to access you. I don't understand it. Like, this was just the knowledge. But then when we put on things like makeup, artificial or chemical based things, that actually makes it harder for them to contact us. And yeah, I mean, I've got makeup, but if you wanted to look at it in a conspiratorial type way, the fact that our world has become so chemically orientated, it's like that we put chemicals on our skin, there's chemicals in our food, there's chemicals in the environment, all of that could go some way to dull down our sensitivity and ability to connect in a way that we perhaps would have found way more natural before. So I just found it fascinating, because then I was like, okay, so if I am looking to connect, I will meditate, I will do my sound bowl, I will wear all of my crystal jewelry, I will not put a full face of makeup on. There's certain things that I'm becoming more aware of that actually might help. And then the other funny thing is that I was like, okay, so my birth spirit guide, who are you? What's your name? Like, can you get, because I've always tried to like get some message through my dreams. Nothing was really showing up. But then the next day, this podcast came on and it started talking about the Pleiadians, which is like an alien race force that comes from an alien race force. I don't even know where I said that, but that comes from this other world. And it sent tingles through me. So then I started researching the idea of these Pleiadian souls that can exist on Earth, and it just felt very aligned, where I was like, oh my God, my main guide from birth is a Pleiadian. And then also I have David Bowie come to play sometimes. So that's really weird.
This is the one that we briefly touched on last week, which sparked me to be like, we need to get more into this.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious, because I'd be like, okay, to someone that was a huge David Bowie fan, I don't think you could tell me one song.
I didn't even know who he was. I didn't know that Ziggy, whoever, I didn't know that was his. Yeah, I didn't know that was his alter ego. I honestly, and I still don't know very much about him. Sorry, David. I absolutely adore you. But yeah, like, so again, this is what I'm talking about with signs. I just spotted one of his songs was a chosen song on someone's Instagram, and I thought, oh, that's funny, because my friend had been talking about how he's on her spirit team, you see. And I was like, oh, there's a David Bowie song, and I was like, that's interesting. And then I was watching a video from another content creator that I really like, and I wasn't really like paying too much attention. I was doing something else well, and I just heard her go, oh, look, David Bowie. And I like looked down, and she was holding up like a t-shirt. She was in like Primark or something. So then I was like, okay, that's twice now in quick succession. And then I was like, oh, is that all you need? Like, just twice, and then like, that's it, you're hooked. Then my light flickered. So then I was like, David, are you there? And then it just seemed, and then a sign went up just outside where I live that said, ground control this way, which apparently is one of his either his songs or his lyrics, like ground control. Da, 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 da. But then when you listen to his songs, he definitely believed in these kinds of things. So it's I think what it is that he's a very creative spirit, and that he will, anybody that is creating. So I like to write poetry and I like to create. His influence could well come into your spirit team, and I'm I don't fully understand it all myself, but yeah, so there we go. Remember when we did that spirit course, and that woman, we think she was a bit of a rip-off, don't we? But she was like, Whitney Houston's in the room.
I'm not joking.
Like, maybe she was.
I've never been in more of a star-studded room in my life. There was Prince, there was Michael Jackson, there was, who was there? Yeah, Whitney Houston.
Elton John, I think was
Elvis, Lady Di, like,
yeah, all sorts. I think she was having it on a little bit.
Freddie Mercury. Like, literally, we got to the point where we were looking at each other and guessing the next one, because it was just like, think of Marilyn Monroe, think of the most famous, like, and you could tell her generation, because no one was like that young. There was no like Amy Winehouse or.
It was good fun. It was good fun, but this is the thing about what we mean in terms of we would never want anybody to be taken advantage of when they're vulnerable, and they're in a vulnerable position.
Yeah, so
which is why it's important to have.
Oh, sorry, carry on.
No, I was going to say, which is why it's important to have these conversations, because then you're less likely to get taken in by a charlatan.
I said it too early in the week. Like, I'm more annoyed that these people muddy the waters for people that can actually have these abilities. And that's so
Yeah.
annoying, but, like, that is society, right? We'll have bad faith actors in all areas of life that literally
Yeah.
seek out these modes of working, whether it's to control, to abuse women, to beat people up,
Yeah.
cheat the
It's just
system, we'll find yeah.
a lack of morals, and I think perhaps a lack of belief in karma, because it will catch everybody up one day. Just returning to the chat then, so it made me giggle. Blondie, are you a conspiracy theorist? What would you say, Steph? Am I a conspiracy theorist? Like, I'm
I would
open to them.
say in the line there's a spectrum, right? Whereas I'm like, no, it's all capitalism over here. Besides, like the things like Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself, that
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
the sort of stuff that like maybe some people would still consider it a conspiracy theory, but like you'd have to be really like BBC never lies to be thinking that
yeah,
way.
yeah,
But then you've got like QAnon, MAGA, like end of the world people that just are anti-Semitic, hateful of people that are really trying to spread awful shit that are like all the way down there.
yeah,
Also with the schizophrenics. I would put you very much in the middle. I think you're open to the possibilities of way more things than I am
yeah,
being explained by different means. So, yes and no. She's not
yeah. That's
like,
the thing. I am
uh,
open to a lot, but
yeah,
I'm
but
not
she's not
necessarily.
like protesting against like I don't know, abortion and stuff like that
Yeah,
because there's some conspiracy cabal to like lessen the population and do you know
yeah.
what I mean? You take bits of information and quite often you'll be like, well, how do you sound what does this sound like to you? And I'll be like, this is my thing. And you're like,
Yeah,
okay.
you always help to bring me back to so it's almost like following that why. What is someone gaining from this conspiracy theory gaining momentum, you know? And
Yeah.
that's where you help me understand that sometimes there's an underlying motive and it's not all as it seems.
Yeah, I
I
see
would
it in
say
the same realm as sorry, just very quickly. I
no, you're
see
all
it in the
right.
same realm as people that do ruin the spiritual side of things to either
Yeah,
capitalize on it or just be manipulative and controlling. It's exactly the
yeah,
same people that like muddy the waters with conspiracy and it's like, trust me, the real explanation is horrible. If you actually
yeah,
look into like
yeah.
capitalism and the reason why these different things are happening. I mean, just right now with Trump and Russia and all these like elites that are
Crazy.
literally and they have it seems like they have a lot of control right now.
Yeah.
Um,
The world seems to be actually going a bit nuts.
yeah, but then someone
Um
will bang on about something like, I don't know, Jewish lasers, and you're like, "What?" No.
yeah. Here's the thing.
People
I
are
mean,
dying.
I'd say that I'm conspiratorial, but with a pinch of salt. You know, I like to enjoy a conspiracy, but I'm not like kind of die on a hill that that's the truth because I just don't know the truth. You know.
No,
Um,
definitely.
can I just say as well, like, so to this week I put a video on my TikTok because I shared a video initially talking about the frequency of the Earth, the conspiracy that the frequency of the Earth is rising, and that as such we are going through a human evolution. Somebody commented like, "What's this all about?" So I did another video kind of explaining it in a little bit more depth, but again making it clear that I am just repeating a theory that I hear regularly because I listen to certain genre of podcasts where it is spiritual people. So you know, a lot of people have this same kind of belief. Um, and then somebody commented on it and they were like, basically say they were like, you've got this all wrong. Um, the the ideal is stillness, therefore low vibration. So I was like, I'm pretty sure stillness is classed as a high vibrational state because to be still and at peace and harmony, that is a what is classed as a high vibrational emotion. So I replied that and I was like, I think I was like, what I believe, or from what I've heard or whatever, like stillness is a high vibrational state. Like meditation raises your vibration and allows you to access the feeling of stillness, which is a high vibrational state. And he was like arguing with me, like, no, he was like, stillness equals no vibration. Do you understand now? And I was like, but this doesn't sit right with me and everything that
Should we
I've like.
should we
So I was
settle
like,
there?
me. Well, I was like, maybe we're talking about different things or from a different perspective. Because he was
No,
like,
he's wrong.
I science all things and you are wrong.
You
And I was
science
like,
all things.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, well, come and watch our podcast because we literally specialize in science versus spirituality. And I was like, yeah, so I was just like, maybe we're coming from a different perspective, but my understanding is that stillness is a high vibrational state, because he was like, that's why you meditate to achieve stillness, which is a low or no vibration. And I was like, it's not though, like that, it's not. But
Let me
I
show
was
you.
aware that if we were
Oh,
talking
there's
in
the Doom room
different,
again.
if we were talking in different perspectives, then fair enough.
I don't know if he's
Yeah, they're
confused
the
about the way it's
brainwaves.
laid out, but this is not the frequency that you need to be enlightened. It's down here. Do you
Yeah,
see
your
how
brainwaves.
still?
Well, this is the thing. I was like, maybe he's talking about something different, because I was like, a high vibrational state is the aim. Like stillness is classed as a high vibration, because a low vibration is anger, jealousy, rage, all of those things. Even though they feel energetic, they are classed as low vibrational. So maybe he was talking about brain waves, because this is the thing. I was like, I think we might be talking about different things or using different terms, if you know what I mean. But then he
Yeah.
was just he just replied, he was like, go and do some serious research instead of just boring us all with your nonsense, or something really rude. So I replied, like, hold on a minute, we're having a conversation. I've not got rude to you. Like, all you have to do is Google, is stillness a high or low vibrational state? And it will say it is a high vibrational state. Is
Whichever it
meditation a high?
is, you ain't that, so go away.
Yeah. And I just thought, why do people, again, it highlights why these conversations are important, to show that we can be open-minded about our beliefs and accept somebody else's perspective and input without having to, like, course, he was like, you either just don't want your own boat rocking, or you just lack logical sense. And I was like, I get what you mean, that logically stillness would be a slower vibration. I get that. But in the spiritual world, when we're talking about a high vibrational state, we are talking about being at peace. But he
Yeah,
wouldn't.
the brain waves and energy vibration are two very different things, Mr. Science Man. Yeah, I know you're
Yeah,
getting confused because both move and have a pattern, but they're not the same thing. When you talk of energetic movement, everything is made up of energy.
yeah, and
Whereas
vibrating patterns.
information that we can't see that gets transported, whether that's infrared, we can see in the spectrum of that is not particles necessarily. Half of that ends up being like dark matter, doesn't it? But it's not. Brain waves is like how your brain tunes to the rest of the world, not how. It's such a, I can't lie. Every time I go to explain it, a part of me just wants to go. I
No,
can't believe I'm
I
having to try and explain this.
I'm the same. Like, when I'll think I understand something until I go to explain it, and then I've got no way of explaining it. I don't have the words. It's an inner standing, an inner understanding, but like I haven't always got the actual vocabulary to explain it.
It's really strange. I don't understand. Like all of those brainwaves that I just showed you, none of them are a bad state to be in. Like that's the best difference. When someone says that, oh, you're low vibration, you're not like that means they're not giving off that
Yeah,
aura, right? That they need, that they're not connecting with the things around them that they need. Those different brain waves just allow you to do different things. So the high one is a really good one
yeah,
for learning.
yeah,
It's a really good
exactly.
one for making decisions. If you want to explore spirituality, that's where your lower ones come into ground. The one
Yeah,
just
and
before
that's
the
what was.
bottom is where you dream.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about or touched upon last week in the craft series with we are most likely, most of the time, kept in a problem-solving brainwave state. So it's like our brainwaves don't shift as perhaps as much as they could do with shifting. But looking at fire actually shifts your brainwaves into the meditative brainwave state that you need. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
I'm glad that you've said that about brainwaves, because I knew he was coming from somewhere different, but I wasn't actually getting rude and calling him names. You know what I mean? I was just like, I think we're using different language, like we're coming from a different perspective. But it just shows, doesn't it, that this is, unfortunately, where having different opinions gets us.
And you can have an opinion, mate, but when there's scientific
Yeah.
fact, I don't care about your opinion. Like, I really
Peter
don't.
says,
And this isn't like, ooh, do ghosts exist? This is brainwaves. This has been studied for
yeah,
so bloody long. Peter said exactly the same. It's like music. It is. It's different frequencies that go through different things. And then we look at like infrared, the microwave. Yes, sure, these brainwaves can then have an effect on how quickly particles move, but they aren't the same.
the vibrator. Peter says, where did you get that graphic, Steph, for the waves, as he would love to have a look at it more? I think if you just Google different brainwaves image, it should come up.
Yeah, the one that came up is King of the Curve, but I literally just Googled brainwaves, went to images, and it was
And it'll be in
the
there.
fourth picture along.
And then also, Peter said about he'd love to be able to meditate like properly, as it were. So shall we cover meditation next week? Because
I love that, yeah. And what properly?
yeah,
means.
because that's the point, isn't there? There's so many ways to do it, as it were. And there's a lot of well-being benefits from meditating too. But us bloody hyperactives can find it very hard, or don't realise we're doing it in different ways.
No, definitely. Okay, so that adds to the homework. We've got Red Lizard, your own sign that you need to ask your spirit guides to be seen, your own personal one. The third one is bring a small food or something that you like to eat, whether it's a little bit of chocolate or a crisp or something, and we'll try meditative eating. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Excellent. Well, I've very much enjoyed this conversation. I hope that everybody that has tuned in has done too. Please give the show a like. I'm impressed by how many people have already liked it. Thank you very much.
That's really sweet. Thank you. Keep them coming. It literally means the world to us, and it does so much for the channel. I cannot express it enough. Every like, every second that you watch is really helpful. So thank you.
It really does. That's funny. I've heard that woolly hats indoors stop good vibrations.
I can't take it off because my hair's greasy.
Oh, that is cute. That is cute, though. I love that we get teased in the chat. That's what it's all about. A bit of banter.
Yeah, take it away. I might get in speckies, and I'll be honest, my eyes. I was like tearing up before we went live just because of Miss Shirley. So part of me was like, I don't know how I'm going to manage to do this.
God bless Miss Shirley. I know. I actually did. I nearly didn't send you it till after the show, but then I thought, well, no, because this will boost your mood. And you know, when you think about her, you're calling her energy in. Her energy is now expansive and available for us to channel, if you know what I mean. So she will live on through you. You might dream about her tonight. That would be nice.
It'd be really cool if there is any way. And again, I realize how selfish this sounds, but to a certain degree, that spirituality kind of is, right? There's an element of selfishness of being able to look after the individual, filling your own cup before you help others, for example.
Yeah, but then it's understanding that by filling your own cup, you can help others more effectively. So it's not actually coming from a place of selfishness. It's coming from a place of effectively serving others. And that understanding that feeling of we all experience, because we are all one. When it comes down to it, we're all experiencing ourselves, you know, this universe in our own individual way, but source is one and the same.
No, definitely. I love that. Okay, Blondie and Corrie Specs, I'm out. Enjoy the evening.
I love as well, whoever's just joined last, it's Dwight. I recognise him from your Tangled things.
Yes,
energy is an interesting topic. It can't be destroyed. Literally, we started the program saying that. So make sure you do rewind and watch it from the beginning, because that was my kind of initial point for leading into the idea of spirit and the fact that our energy is eternal. So
and I love it
point.
just because I think that is the first topic in science that I was like, I get this. You can't put out.
Nice.
You can't get out more than you put in, and how energy, like whether it's through light, heat, source, all these different ways. And my brain was like, I get this. Oh my God, like maths, I don't understand. words are hard to remember on the page as I'm reading them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The energy. You can link to it. Fabulous.
Energy. No,
Well, it's
definitely.
been a lovely, energetic episode. Sending you all good vibes.
Because your logo on the top is incorrect, wrong way. What logo? Logo on the top is incorrect, wrong way round. What logos?
I don't know. Is there a logo?
Peter, enlighten us. We'll do a reflection. Yeah, wait till Octopus start charging you for your own. Oh, right. Start charging you for your own energy. Yeah, probably.
I know, don't tell the energy companies that I'm giving out energy for free here.
To be fair, I saw a thing of someone talking about they're living in these like zero cost homes where like everything is generated within the home. It's all solar. They sell the electricity back to the board. I don't know how logical that is, or if they actually work, or it's just another guise or something.
No, I think there's a thing. I think there is something in that.
Oh, it's shown on the street screen because I'll have to have a look at that. I can't see anything on the screen, but I will figure out how to twist us around.
Yes.
Great episode, ladies. Loved every second. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it
too. I see. Yeah, that's because okay. That's because I'm not facing the behind camera.
Yeah, it's because we need to see what's going on.
Ain't it? Guys, thank you for coming. Next week we are talking about meditation, and so yeah, do your homework. Like and
keep an eye out for that red lizard, guys.
Red lizard. Have a good evening, everyone, or a good day if you're in the States. I know we've got a load of you over there. But yeah, in the meantime,
take care, guys. Peace and love.
You. Bye. Peace and love.
Bye.